Welcome back on this Monday to These Things Are Written. We are going to wrap up the first 12 chapters of Isaiah this week. Today we are beginning with Isaiah 10, looking at the first 11 verses. Again, I'm going to read it section by section and comment on it at that point. Chapter 10, verse 1, Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees and the writers who keep writing opposition. Interesting in this part how he does that, how he uses those words. And this English translation does a good job of using that, who decree these sinful decrees, who the writers, they keep writing this opposition. The leaders of Judah are not just not protecting those who are weak, who are in need of their help, but there actually seems to be writing to make people able to persecute them, to oppress those who are poor. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from justice and to rob the poor of my people of their right, that widows may be their spoil, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. What will you do on the day of judgment, in the ruin that will come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? The issue that the Lord has with Israel, with Judah, is that they do not show their love for their Lord to their love for others. They are oppressing those who are helpless and are making themselves richer at the expense of those who they should be helping. And in the end, God says, what good will your wealth do? To whom will you flee for help when the punishment comes? And where will you leave your wealth? Implying that there is nowhere that they will be able to hide it, that it will all be taken away. Verse 4, nothing remains but to crouch among the prisoners or fall among the slain. For all this his anger has not turned away, and his hand is stretched out still. The rich who have become rich through ill-gotten gain will have it all stripped away. They will either be like the prisoners or like the dead, because the Lord's anger has not turned away. So again, woe to the leaders of Judah in the first 4 verses here. Verse 5, woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger, the staff in their hand is my fury. Against a godless nation I send him, and against the people of my wrath I command him, to take spoil and seize plunder, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. In other words, God is using Assyria. Assyria is his instrument to bring destruction upon Jerusalem, to change Judah so that they will turn from their wrong ways and turn back to the Lord. But verse 7, but he, this is the king of Assyria, does not so intend, and his heart does not so think. But it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few. For he says, are not my commanders all kings? Is not like Cairo like Carmel? Is not Hamath like Arpad? Is not Samaria like Damascus? As my hand has reached to the kingdom of the idols, whose carved images were greater than those of Jerusalem and Samaria, shall I not do to Jerusalem and her idols as I have done to Samaria and her images? See, the king of Assyria doesn't realize that it is the Lord leading him. He takes pride in his power, that no one has been able to stop him. No gods have been able to keep him from destroying the land. And Jerusalem is simply the next one. In fact, as we read in Isaiah, I believe it's chapter 36, around there, when the leader comes and tells Hezekiah what's going to do, he is talking about how this very thing has the gods of Samaria or all of the other nations been able to stop our armies. In other words, he is taunting the Lord and showing his pride and his arrogance. Tomorrow, we are going to continue with Isaiah chapter 10. There is more judgment that is coming upon Assyria, that God doesn't simply let the powerful get away with doing the wrong, being his instrument. But in the end, since that instrument is even more wicked, he too will be destroyed. We'll read more about that tomorrow. We'll see you then. God bless.